Take a look at the Corona tail of the tape. Leo Hall, Christopher Brooker, both of these men scheduled for 8. Everything pretty much even. Hall had the more extensive amateur background. Brooker took this fight on short notice. Let's see if that plays itself out at all in this fight. Both fighters are in the ring. Let's get the official introduction. Here's Ray Flores.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the Sands Casino here in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Live on FS1, this is Premier Boxing Champions. The action begins with 8 rounds in the light heavyweight division. The 3 judges ringside are Bernard Bruni, Michael Somam, and Steve Weisfeld. And the referee in charge, when the bell sounds, Gary Rosato. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the blue with the silver. His professional record, 6 wins, 5 of those coming by way of KO against 1 loss. Fighting out of Philadelphia, PA. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Christopher Brooker. Across the ring, his opponent fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the black with the red as a professional, undefeated, 8 bouts, 8 victories, 7 of those coming by way of knockouts. Fighting out of Toledo, Ohio, by way of Detroit, Michigan. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting Leo Young Hall.
Leo, Chief Second. Mouthpiece in, Leo. Mouthpiece. Okay, gentlemen, I gave you specific detailed instruction in the locker room. I'm only going to tell you 2 things. Protect yourselves at all times. Obey my commands at all times. Touch gloves, bang at the bell. Do it up. All right.
Well, when asked to describe Leo Hall as a fighter, his corner said emphatically, he's the future of boxing. He will knock out Chris Brooker tonight. Chris Brooker took this fight on a week's notice. Considering his background, he was put up for adoption as a kid. He was homeless at one time. He says tonight you will see, quote, hard work pays off. Brooker in the silver trunks, the blue trims. It's Hall in the black trunks.
Steve, it looks like Brooker is being aggressive very early in this fight. Bringing the fight to young man.
When you have a guy that's taking a fight on a week's notice, I think he knows his gas tank isn't as extensive as Hall, so he's going to bring it to him. He's going to bring the fight to him, and that's what he's doing.
He's certainly become aggressive and been very aggressive here early on.
I like Brooker's choice of shots already in the fight. First round, he's going to the body extensively. I like that.
Yeah, I agree. And it looks to me as if Hall is uncomfortable. He look like he feels uncomfortable in the ring tonight.
Here's a right hand by Brooker.
Brooker needs to take a half step back right now. He's smothering his punches.
Short uppercut by Brooker.
Brooker said in the fighting meeting, he's not here to play, he's no opponent, he's here to win and knock Hall out. He's putting in some work right now.
Hall told us when we asked him about Brooker, I'm not impressed. I think he has a glass chin. Definite knockout for me.
The composure of Hall is something to speak of. He continues to stay behind the jab. He's keeping it simple and plain. He's possibly waiting for Brooker to gas out, but we'll see.
Steve, he looks like he's flat to me.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, he keeps riding the rope. He needs to take the fight back to the center of the ring and use his jab like he was just doing just a few minutes ago.
Keep in mind, initially in the weigh-in, Hall came in heavy. He had to run for a while, for like an hour, to drop a couple pounds and make weight for the fight.
Interesting. That can make a big difference in a fight like this that Brooker's bringing Hall to fight. That can make a serious difference.
Absolutely. You don't want to come to the fight to get in shape. You want to be in shape before you get here.
Under 30 seconds here in round 1. Final seconds here of the round. There's a right hand by Brooker at the bell.
You can see the overhand right on land for Brooker here. And he's going to get close. And he's going to land a right uppercut also on Hall. Hall needs to get off the ropes because the more ground he gives up in that ring, the worse he's going to be, position he's going to be in.
Brooker's out of Philadelphia. He's trained by James Edward, goes by the name of Philadelphia Fats.
I wonder where he get that nickname from.
Barry Hunter gave him that nickname years ago. Brooker comes from a family of 11, 7 brothers, 3 sisters. In fact, he was early in their lifetime, they were put up for adoption. He was homeless for a while, living in his car.
Steve, what do you think about Brooker right now? What is he doing right to you?
I think Brooker's fighting the smartest fight that he can fight on a week's notice. You know, he's bringing the heat while he has energy to Hall. And knowing Hall's been in camp for this fight, but Brooker took it on a week's notice. We know he's in the gym. He's taking some steam away from Hall. He keeps Hall on the ropes. You know, he's doing damage right now.
I agree. The only thing I have a problem with, he needs to take a half step back. Some of these shots that he's throwing and hitting Brooker with on the inside can do more damage if he has better leverage. And he'll get that leverage if he take a half step back.
But let's look at this, Barry. Brooker is one of these guys that can fight pretty good on the inside. He's smothering his man. He's doing his thing. You know, this is him.
Yeah, I get it. But you don't want to smother yourself. You can smother the other guy, but you want to be effective in your shots. And he can do that by taking a half step back.
That's why you're the coach, and I'm the fighter.
Hall's out at Toledo, trains in Michigan at that hands-on boxing gym. This is his first fight with his trainer, Mujahid Muhammad. He got in some great work. He used to train at the age of 15 at the old Kronk gym. Emmanuel Stewart. In fact, he sparred with Andy Lee when he was 15.
And those are good stars to have in your crown. You know, Emmanuel, of course, you know, God rest his soul, he's a beautiful person, and he was an excellent teacher of the art of boxing. And then when you look at Andy Lee was a terrific, not only was a world champion, but he was an outstanding amateur fighter.
Short uppercut there by Hall.
I'm starting to see a little bit more space coming from Brooker. Seems he's getting a little winded here. It's an 8-round fight. See if he can pace himself, slow down, speed up the pressure again, or he may be gassing himself out, and Hall can turn up in the end.
Steve, I definitely agree. It's always like those video games that you do your special move and then take all your energy away. With these big roundhouse shots, they will sap his energy. Like that one.
Final seconds of round 2. That's Mujahid Muhammad. He's the trainer for Leo Hall.
Steve, what I like to see Hall do this round, if you notice Brooker is coming in like a bull. Hall needs to take the role of the matador and step aside. Feel his weight, step aside, and run him into something.
Well, if Hall listens to his corner, that's what he's going to do. He's going to do what he's doing right now, continue to box, using that jab up and down, and control the distance in this fight. That's how Hall wins this fight.
Yes, I agree.
Let's take a look at the punch stats. 2 rounds. Brooker landed 43% of his punches thus far. Hall has thrown more punches.
Remember in the first round I spoke of Brooker doing a good thing going to the body of Hall. Brooker knows he didn't have a full camp for this fight. He went to the body to take Hall's energy. Brooker's losing energy too, but he's fighting at his pace. He's fighting where he wants to. Hall's not. Hall's uncomfortable right now.
He's very uncomfortable, and you know, if, like we said, if he keep the fight in the center of the ring and just use his jab, not one jab, double and triple jab, and turn this man right there like that. He has him pinned on the rope, smothering him, and that body weight itself it can sap your energy. He needs to turn.
Hall's caught Brooker a couple of times. Right uppercut. Here's an uppercut by Brooker.
These shots are starting to get to Brooker. To Hall, I'm sorry.
Hall looks very uncomfortable right now. I don't think he can produce what his corner wants him to produce.
Spin just like that. That's what the fight needs to be for Hall.
It's not hard to take a guy like Brooker lightly. You know, no matter even if you've trained for whoever, or trained for so many weeks, it's not hard to take a guy you fight on a week's notice lightly. And that's possibly what happened. Mentally, you can tone yourself down.
Under a minute. Hall caught Brooker again with that right uppercut.
Steve, and one other thing about Brooker that we forgot to mention. Here's a guy that only has 13 amateur fights. So he didn't have a long amateur career.
When you have a guy like that, and then you mention the rough life that he's had, all he knows is fight and rough and bite down on the mouthpiece and go for it. That's what he's doing right here, and it's paying off for him.
Short uppercut Brooker again. Let's take a look at some of the action from the last round, Steve.
Here we have Hall trying to do what he can. He's uncomfortable. He throws a sloppy uppercut to the body. But if you see Brooker, he drops that jab on him and goes right back to the body, breaking down Hall, making him a little weaker, keeping him in his world.
This is round 4. We're scheduled for 8. Big right hook by Brooker. Looping right hook. Travis Kaufman, he's working the corners for us. He was in the corner of Brooker. What'd they say, Travis?
Telling him to jab his way in there and throw uppercuts because Hall is cuffing himself, and they just want him to keep applying the pressure.
Travis Kaufman, he'll be working the corners for us throughout the evening.
This is where Hall needs to be. It's effortless. Behind the jab, in the middle of the ring, box. Be a boxer against a brawler. Most of the time they win.
That's right, bull in the matador. But once again, he allows himself to be held. He allows himself to be pushed back. If he can keep the fight in the center of the ring and work his jab side-to-side movement, guaranteed Brooker will have a hard time with it.
Now Hall working the jab. He's spent a lot of this fight on the ropes.
And you see what happens, Steve. As soon as he started the jab, he started being consistent with it. He started getting Brooker a little bit. But he's right back to grabbing.
He opened the door for a second, and Brooker slammed it right in his face. We're back in his corner, buddy. I'm back in your chest.
Yes, a short right uppercut by Leo Hall. We've asked you to help us out with the scoring as we go to our throwdownscoring.com, and so far you've got Brooker ahead, giving him all 3 rounds.
Beautiful boxing from Hall. He can even work off the jab, behind the jab, hook right hand. He's doing it great in the middle of the ring. He just allows himself to get right here, in the chest, in the face of Brooker.
I'll say it again. I think the jab is the best punch in all the boxing.
I totally agree with you. And the most underrated.
If Brooker knew how to really get to the body, I think it would really pay dividends down the stretch.
Brooker's gassing a little bit now. He put in some work, and get a man his just due. He put in some work. He deserves a little heave-ho in the lungs there, but that work has paid off because he made his opponent just as tired.
Now it's Hall who's gone to the body a little bit on Brooker. We wind down round 4. Just missed with a left hook was Brooker. Good round for Hall. That's Leo Hall out of Toledo, taking on Christopher Brooker. Brooker's out of Philly, works out at Fast Lane Boxing Gym at 57th and Jefferson.
Leo Hall's team is calling him the future of boxing. When you title a guy like that, you need to show me that you can change, you can metamorphosize to the circumstances. He needs to step up his game. He needs to do something to show me he's the future of boxing right now.
And you know, Steve, that's why I don't like labels. Because with those labels come a lot of pressure. And a lot of times you feel as though you have to live up to the expectations. Instead of fighting for you, you fight for everybody else. I don't know if that's the case, but I know that he has more of a boxing pedigree in the amateurs, and he should rely on that right now.
Indeed.
Well, he's very, very confident. He felt like, and he told us, he said, I'm more impressed with Brooker. I've seen some of his fights. All I think he tries to do is land a right hand. This will be a knockout for me. To this point, what do you think about his scouting report on Brooker and what Brooker has brought to him?
Well, you know, hey, Brooker is definitely bringing the fight to him. And, you know, I think Brooker is a much more difficult opponent than he thought he was. And it could be the fact that there was a little underestimation of him.
And let me add to that, Barry. When you know the guy is going to throw a lot of right hands, where's your defense for that? When you only want to knock a guy out, that's the problem. That's why you need all facets of this game. It's not, you can't play this thing. It's a serious business right here.
And there's so many levels to it.
Here's a little left hook by Brooker. Minute now left here in round 5.
Brian, if you watch Brooker, a lot of the punches that he's throwing, he's actually looking down at the canvas.
That's ring generalship right there. Knowing where your man is, seeing his feet. There's times in a fight where I don't have to look at my opponent, and I know exactly where he is, and I know exactly what I can land. That's some good stuff from Brooker right there.
And you know, everybody can't do that.
I was a 2-time world champ, Barry.
I'm sorry, Steve.
30 seconds left here in round 5. And another left hook and a right hand by Brooker. Final seconds of this round. Left hook by Brooker at the bell. Let's listen in on the corners.
You gotta pick it up, bro. You gotta pick it up now. Fight lazy. You gotta pick it up, man. You gotta pick it up, bro. Come on, man. This motherfucker just outwork you, dog. For real. Be firm. You got to let your hands. You gotta put your shot. He can't get out the way all 3 of them. No, we gotta fight. Let your hands. He doesn't push his head down. Hit up. Put that hand up. Listen to me, son. Hands up. Yes, sir. Hands up.
This is your turn, baby. This is your time. He can't beat you. He cannot beat you. You hear me talking to you, son? Keep your hand up, off the jab. Now, I mean, when you get close to him, let him know Daddy's home. Let him know Daddy's home. All right, let's go.
Second down.
Certainly apologize for some of the language. It happens, especially in those corners in boxing. And you saw the trainer, Chris Brooker. Philadelphia Fats is what they call him. Barry Hunter gave him that nickname years ago. He said because his belly is big and so is his wallet.
Hey, Brian, if you listen to Philly Fats in the corner and go back to what Brooker told us yesterday, he had 1 loss on his record, and that's because of lack of experience and that he didn't listen to his corner. Looks like tonight he's on mark and he's listening to everything Fats is telling him to do.
And what about Leo Hall? You heard his corner tell him, look, you're in a fight, son. You're fighting lazy. You got to pick it up. Does that conditioning come into play here? Because he had to run to try to make weight.
Listen, there's no doubt in my mind that Leo Hall could be the future of boxing, but he's not showing it. His corner sees it. They know what he's capable of, and they're trying to bring it out of him. Like Booker's corner, they brought something out of him. His corner, his trainer, what's his name? Fats. Fats brought it out of him. He's putting in work. Hall, he's going down the drain, baby.
So, Steve, if you think about Hall's corner, they pretty much think what I said earlier. He looked flat tonight.
Exactly, I totally agree. You're trying to make weight the day before the fight, that can seriously hurt you.
Right, and to touch on what you said, Brian, that could very well be the problem in this fight tonight.
Stiff jab there by Hall. We take a look at how you guys have the fight scored thus far. And once again, you gave the 5th round to Brooker. You gave the 4th round. It was a good round for Leo Hall. So 4-1, Christopher Brooker. And now here comes Hall. You heard Christopher Brooker saying, listen, he's holding me. We got a minute left here in round 6.
Brooker is very confident. He's in there talking to Hall. Right now, what you see, he's trying to pose his will on Hall. It looks like to me, if Hall picks up, that will is going to be too much for him to overcome.
Brooker's in that zone. I get in that zone sometimes, and I talk to him on that corner. Oh, man, it's beautiful.
Body shot, left hook.
That's that zone. He's in the zone, baby.
As he continues to press the fight and come forward. Leo Hall is 8-0, 7 knockouts. All of his knockouts have come within the first 3 rounds, but he finds himself in a fight here tonight in Bethlehem. Right now, Leo Hall taking on Chris Brooker. Hall undefeated, Brooker just 1 loss. And it's Brooker who has taken the fight to Hall thus far.
Brooker comes out with a great surge of energy here in this 7th round. I'm feeling this man right here. You know, I'm a fan right now.
Our Travis Coffin, he's been in the corner. He listened in. Travis, what the corner say?
Well, listening to Philly Fats believes that Brooker's winning the fight, and he just wants him to be patient and don't overexert his energy. You know, it's the first time won 8 rounds, so he just wants to take him time to keep jabbing.
Thank you, Travis. In fact, Leo Hall's only gone a full 6 rounds once in his career. That was back in August. And he got a win over Edgar Perez. That was the only fight for him that had went the distance. So really the first time for him that he's gone past 6 rounds.
Yeah, and, you know, think about what Brooker said to us yesterday in the meeting. He has sparred 15 rounds, 5 minutes per round for this fight. He said that he had been in camp, and he said if you stay ready, you don't have to worry about getting ready. Yeah, and it looks like to me, he's ready.
That's champion mindset right there, Barry.
Absolutely. Good right hand.
Yeah, good 1-2 there by Leo Hall.
And Brooker gives one back. This guy is in the game.
Let's take a look at the punch stats here through 6 rounds. Brooker landed 51% of his punches thus far. He's landed nearly 200 punches.
Brooker doing just what he needs to do. Now he's feeling himself a bit. He's a lot comfortable. He's talking to his opponent. He's talking to Hall. He's still in his chest, doing what got him to where he is now, on his way to a victory from the beginning of the fight.
Tate got in some of the braids of Brooker.
I didn't know the ref did here.
How about that?
Steve, you think it's safe to say that Hall may need a knockout or a stop in order to win this fight at this point?
Yes, it's totally safe to say that, indeed. Brooker beating him to the punch. That jab, like you said, Barry, the jab is the key punch in boxing. That's the only thing Brooker's using to get in, then he goes to work. There it is again. things on the inside too. So that leads me to believe you can train him.
Hand right on the button by Brooker. He stopped him. Leo Hall dead in his tracks. Stiff jab.
I have to give Brooker a lot of credit for a guy that only has 13 amateur fights. He's doing very, very well for himself tonight.
When you get to a point in your life and you want to do something, you want it bad, you're going to put every effort forward to get that, and that's what Brooker is doing.
Give him credit. He took this fight on just a week notice. Let's listen into the corners.
Fucking ass. Sit down. 7-0. Deep breath. Deep breath. 1, 2. I need you to keep your left hand up. 1, 2. 10. 1, 2. 1, 2. There's no way he can win this fight. The only way he can win this fight is to catch him with a lucky shot. The fight won, right? We feeding our families, right? Look at me. We feeding our families. When you get close, let him know his daddy's home. He's not in your league. You hear me? We work too hard, son. Deep breath. Yeah.
You hear the advice there from his trainer, Barry. Let's take a look at some of the action from the last round.
But what we're going to see is a right hand boom right there from Brooker, and it landed clean. He's very, very lucky, Hall is, that he didn't go down off this right hand. He looked him off first. There it is over the top. Again, he's so green. If he knew to pull a hook behind that punch, game could have been over.
Early night. Well, not too early. We're in the 8th round, but hey, early night regardless.
Chris Brooker, this is just his 8th fight of his career. He's a kid who was, as a youngster, comes from a family of basically 11. He's got 7 brothers, 3 sisters. At a young age, they were put up for adoptions. Brooker was homeless, just took up boxing to support himself and his 2-year-old son, CJ.
Well, with Philly Fat said in the corner, we trying to feed our babies.
And of course, I know this story all too well. You can't help but to pull for a guy like this. They want the best for him and his family.
Let's see how you, the fans, have this fight scored thus far. As we go to our throwdownscoring.com and look at this. You're giving just 1 round to Leo Hall. All the others went to Christopher Brooker. That's how you've got the fight scored. Here's another short right hook by Brooker on the inside.
See those short shots? He's throwing those 6-inch punches on the inside, not letting his arm out. He's in close deep, but he's still able to get a clean shot off and a combination left hook uppercut. Good job by Brooker.
That's right, and this is a guy, again, with so little experience.
That's a Roy Jones move right there, look off jab.
And then if you haul, you got to find it. You got to dig down. Right now is desperation time. You got to let your hands go. You got to go for it.
And that's the problem with, like you said, Barry, labeling a guy something that you don't know yet. You know, I've labeled a guy future boxing if I've seen him tested. 8-0, he hasn't been tested yet.
No.
And he's failing 8 tests right now.
I was going to say, he got tested here tonight.
And from the looks of things, he failed. But let's wait to see. This is boxing.
Anything can happen in boxing. This thing is getting rough and tumble here. Last 30 seconds. Well, go back to what Brooker told us. I'm going to show you tonight that hard work does pay off.
Brooker's cut.
There's another right hand by Brooker. Final 10 seconds of this fight. And that's the fight. Will Chris Brooker walk in here and get a big upset? We'll find out. The judge's decision is next. Leo Hall, Chris Brooker, as we take a look at the final punch stats, and Christopher Brooker landed nearly 50% of his punches. Leo Hall threw over 400 punches, but landed just 128. Well, the judge's official decision is in. Let's find out who won this fight. Here's Ray Flores.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 8 rounds, we go to the scorecards. Here are your score totals. Judge at ringside, Bernard Bernier, has the contest 80-72, and judges Michael Soma and Steve Weisfeld see the contest identical 79-73 for your winner by unanimous decision, Christopher
Christopher Brooker told us the best thing I do now is listen to my corner. He did it and got himself a unanimous decision.